Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be looking back at the winners and losers from the 2018 NFL Combine. Obviously the Combine happened a few days ago, but before we move on to more draft analysis, let's take a look at what was a memorable few days in Indianapolis. There were a few inspirational moments, like basically everything Shaquem Griffin did. There were some incredible feats, like Saquon Barkley just crushing every part of the Combine. And then there were some genuine surprises, such as Orlando Brown turning in one of the worst Combine performances ever. But anyway, here are some winners and losers from this year's Combine. Winner, obviously Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley showed up to the Combine widely viewed as the top player in the 2018 NFL Draft. After he worked out, there's little doubt he clearly is the top talent available. All Barkley did was weigh in at 233 pounds, then run a 4.440, throw up 29 bench press reps, and unleash a 41-inch vertical. Those are just silly numbers for a running back of his size. It was arguably the most impressive Combine ever for a running back. He's the best player in this draft, and it isn't even close. He firmly established that in Indianapolis. To go along with that, I think Penn State in general was a winner. Two of his college teammates, tight end Mike Gesicki and safety Troy Apke, both boosted their stock this week. Gesicki had the second best bench press performance of any tight end with 22 reps. He tied for first in his position group in the 40 with a 4.54, and he led the tight ends in the broad jump, 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle, and 60-yard shuttle as well. He even beat his former teammate Barkley with a 41.5-inch vertical, also the best jump among the tight ends. On Monday, safety Troy Apke blew Deion Sanders' mind when he pulled off the best time in his position group with a 4.34 time in the 40. And I'll let you guess why it blew Deion Sanders' mind, just looking at his tape. Based on their Combine performances, Penn State's Pro Day on March 20th should be a fun one to watch. Another winner was Derwin James. Derwin James had a reputation as a freak athlete heading into the Combine, and he validated that with his workout in Indianapolis. After measuring in at just a shade under 6'2" and 215, the Florida State safety put together a fantastic showing on the field. James ran a 4.4740, posted a 40-inch vertical leap, and an 11-foot broad jump. That kind of workout coupled with his dominant on-field play should put Derwin James somewhere in the top half of the first round. Moving on to some linemen I was impressed with, we have Colton Miller. After measuring in at a mammoth 6'9", 309 pounds, Colton Miller displayed rare athleticism during his workout. The UCLA offensive tackle was an absolute beast at the Combine on Friday. Miller ran a 4.9540, busted out a 31.5-inch vertical, and set a Combine record for an offensive lineman with a broad jump of 10 foot 1 inch. Those are just ridiculous numbers for such a big guy, and he definitely has room on his frame to add more muscle. While Miller has been projected as high as the second round in some mocks before the Combine, he's now in contention to be a first-round pick. Another lineman was Brian O'Neill, who made a name for himself at the Combine. O'Neill posted the best 40 time, 4.82, and 3-cone drill, 7.14, of any offensive lineman who participated in the drills. If you watched him play in college, you're probably not surprised. He had 2 touchdowns in the 3 times he got to touch the ball in college. He very nearly had a third, but he was ruled down at the 1-yard line, and then Pitt punched it in on the next play. He's penciled in to be drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round, but he boosted his stock with those numbers. The main winner in the quarterback group was Josh Allen. A lot of questions have been asked about Josh Allen, and the Wyoming quarterback tried to answer some of them at the Combine. After measuring at 6'5", 235 pounds, Allen put on an impressive show in Indianapolis. Allen ran a 4.7540, had the best vertical among the quarterbacks in attendance, 31.5 inches, the best broad jump, 9 feet 11 inches, and the second best 3-cone drill, 6.9 seconds. Then he went out and was much better than expected in the throwing drills. While Allen likely left Indianapolis as the 3rd ranked quarterback in this year's class, he had a great showing and certainly closed the gap. And of course, the main winner of this Combine is Shaquem Griffin. Man, this kid is a great story. Shaquem Griffin showed up at the Combine as that linebacker with one hand and wound up being the story of the week. Griffin threw up 20 bench reps, reminder he only has one hand, and ran the fastest 40 by a linebacker in more than a decade at 4.38. Griffin measured in at 6'1", 227, so he's got decent size for a 3-4 inside linebacker or to play outside in a 4-3. After what he did in Indianapolis, he went from possibly being drafted to a surefire pick. Moving on to the losers, the biggest loser of course is Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown may have had the worst showing in Combine history in Indianapolis. The Oklahoma offensive tackle measured in at 6'8", 345 pounds, and it all went downhill from there. Brown ran an atrocious 5.85 second 40, posted just 14 bench reps, and had a 19.5-inch vertical. It could not have gone much worse for the enormous pass protector. He just isn't a great athlete despite his size. Many had Brown as a late first rounder before his horrendous showing at the combine. Now, his stock is dropping like an anvil. Another loser was Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen measured in at 6'4", 226 pounds, right about where he was expected. As far as the athleticism drills go, he showed what we all knew: he's not a great athlete. Rosen ran a 4.92 40, had a solid 31-inch vertical leap, and a 9'3" broad jump. Those numbers won't wow anybody, but that's not where the UCLA quarterback was expected to shine. The issue for Rosen was that he wasn't all that impressive during throwing drills. He was expected to dominate that portion of the combine, and it really was a mixed bag. Rosen is still likely one of the top 2 quarterbacks on most boards, but his showing at the combine and questions about his attitude could lead to second thoughts about his status. Another loser was that Sam Darnold didn't participate in throwing drills. Sam Darnold is definitely one of the top quarterbacks available in this draft, but there is still plenty of questions about him as a prospect after his athleticism didn't bowl anyone over and he opted not to throw. His 40 time of 4.85 was neither great nor terrible, and his vertical of 26.5 was the second worst among his position group. Scouts don't love Darnold's throwing motion, and he also said during media availability that he doesn't plan to switch it up. Darnold's been quoted as saying, "No, I'm not trying to change my throwing motion at all. I think I get the ball off pretty quick. There's a kind of windup, but I think I get it off pretty quick, and that's the only thing that really matters to me." Much has been made of Darnold's weaknesses, and waiting to throw at his pro day with familiar receivers won't do him any favors. He also managed to get stuck in a revolving door with fellow top prospect Josh Allen. But I guess we'll wait to see what Cleveland does with the first pick. Another loser I had was Tavares Mcfadden. Florida State's Tavares Mcfadden is one of the bigger, more physical corners in this year's draft. Like his teammate, Derwin James, Mcfadden was expected to test well and establish himself as one of the top defensive backs in the class. That didn't happen. Mcfadden measured in at 6'2" and 204 pounds, which was right where he was expected to land. But it all went downhill from there. Mcfadden turned in one of the slowest 40-yard dashes among cornerbacks with a 4.67. That's painfully slow for a corner, even at his size. The rest of his numbers didn't stand out either, which likely means his athleticism just isn't where many believed it would be. Mcfadden was a fringe early second-round pick before the combine. Now he could fall all the way to the third round. Another loser I had was Tim Settle. Tim Settle had the defensive line version of Orlando Brown's workout. The massive Virginia Tech defensive tackle measured in at 6'3", 329 pounds, but really struggled during the drills. Settle posted a 5.37 second 40, a 23.5-inch vertical jump, and an 8-foot broad jump. He also had a 20-yard shuttle of 4.83 seconds. None of that is good. Settle likely ranks as one of the top 5 defensive tackles in this year's draft, but his lack of agility and athleticism is pretty disappointing. He'll have a chance to test better at his pro day, and he'll need to if he wants to add some helium to his stock. Something that might not be applied to one particular prospect, but there are just too many injuries to top prospects during this combine. Of course, there was Maurice Hurst, whose combine was over before it really began. The defensive tackle was diagnosed with a heart condition by doctors at the combine and wasn't able to participate. Injuries took a toll on a number of other players too. Billy Price, one of the top 2 center prospects this year, tore his pec during the bench press. That ended his combine early as well. Defensive tackle Vita Vea ran a blistering fast 5.140, which is ridiculous for a guy who's 6'4", 347 pounds, but he tweaked his hamstring and was done for the day. It was the same story for Georgia's Roquan Smith, who hurt his calf during the 40 on Sunday. Then there was top cornerback prospect Denzel Ward, who hurt his ankle on Monday, and UCLA running back Ronald Jones, who pulled up during his 4.66 40 because of a hamstring injury. All of these players had spent months preparing for the combine, so it's disappointing to see the experience cut short by injuries. And somebody who's kind of a loser from the combine just because of one moment, and that's Taron Johnson, who took a ball to the face on television. Johnson was a standout corner at Weber State, but he stood at the combine for taking his eye off the ball for 1 second and getting smacked in the face. That clip is so funny, even he had to acknowledge it on Twitter. So that does it for my winners and losers from this year's combine. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below, and until next time.
I got it. Top fives don't exist in my world like bad sportsmanship. Spank your favorite rapper, have him coming back to ya. Of course I'm sick. Poor sport like bottomless crates, wooden boards below chords in this. God, I'm good. A sinner's go to defense in the afterlife. Ironic, you can see what I'm gifted with, cause I'm rapping, right? My presence, nothing.